Hey guys, Stephen Talbot here, of course, and my apologies for my voice. I promise I do not feel as bad as I sound. So, in this video, I just wanted to share with you another tool that we use in our business. And all of these tools that I'm going to share with you, I'm not being sponsored. I'm not being paid for this. And, we don't decide, I'm typically the one that decides on the tools that we use. And the tools that we use are not decided lightly. I am a cheapskate when it comes to stuff like this, especially because we are a startup and cash is king. And if there is a platform or a service out there that we can use that has a freemium plan until we can, until we continue to grow and then we can upgrade later, that is what I shoot for. Although that is not my only criteria. If there is something that we absolutely have to pay for, then we will. A case in point is our property management system. There are some out there that are free, but we end up paying thousands of dollars for ours because that's something that we needed to find a solution that would meet all of our requirements. So there's many different components and moving parts to running a business, and that from accounting software to your CRM to your communications or your messaging platform, and the list can go on and on. What I'm going to show you today is the system that we have just started to use. It's called Tettra. And the point of it is to document processes, procedures, and basically training and step-by-step instructions for everything that you do. And I've built a company before, and I can tell you that it's better to get started now, even if you don't think that you're going to grow to be too big. You might as well go ahead and do this for many reasons. Even if you're a solopreneur, a one-person shop, and you have to hire, someone to help you every now and then. If you're sick or if you break your leg or if you're in the hospital, you're going to want your business to continue to run. And in order for anybody to come along, whether that person is outsourced in the Philippines or you get a virtual person or you hire somebody locally, leaving them without any step-by-step instructions of exactly how your business is ran is, what is that? That means that the person's not going to know how to do anything. In addition to that, documenting everything also makes it much, much simpler to hire people, to train people, to outsource to other people, to delegate. And it's a single a single repository for all of the team's collective knowledge. And so I'm a real big proponent of stuff like this. So after looking around, I have tried so many of these. You can find some of this stuff built into various platforms, but you guys probably know this about me. I am not a one size fits all or an all-in-one type of solution looking guy. Like I don't like all that. I think that Tettra, for example, does a really, really good job with knowledge management. MyVR does a pretty good job with property management, not knowledge management. So why would I put my knowledge management infrastructure inside of MyVR? No. What happens with, and why would I put my accounting inside of MyVR, or why would I let Tettra take care of my accounting? It just doesn't make sense to me. It sort of like reminds me of back in the old days. We used to have for a long time, people would have component stereo systems in their house. They would have one of them that was an FM tuner, one component that would be a CD player, one component would be a tape player, one component would be a DVD player if it was like a home theater system. And then over time, you started to see these, and I'm not that old. This wasn't that long ago. All-in-one systems. Same thing with routers. In my house, I do not like all-in-one routers. I don't like all-in-one cable modems /routers /wireless access points, because if one of them breaks, the whole thing's broken. I think that each one individually does it. I would rather have individual components for that type of stuff. So with that said, Tettra is really cool, and I'm just going to take you through. I literally just started using this. So I'm just going to take you through like a couple of examples. So this is what it is. It's free for up to like 20 pages, I think. Free forever for teams looking to start for up to 10, 20 pages, and then a version history for 30 days and a gigabyte per user of storage. The only thing I don't like about it, I don't like their storage because we also use Dropbox for our online storage and we use Dropbox for business. So all of our files are in Dropbox. I don't like the idea of having to upload an actual file to Tettra because if that file changes, it's going to change in Dropbox. And now somebody has to go, also remember to go change it in Tettra. I really wish that Tettra allowed Dropbox and or Google Store, Google Drive integration so that anytime you updated the file in Dropbox or Google Drive, the file would automatically be, the link would, you know what I'm saying? Like the file would be automatically be updated. Although I'm not really sure if that would work anyway, because if you had a new version of, yeah, I don't know, that's questionable because the link might actually change. It depends on how you do it. Anyway, so this is what the pricing page looks like. They have, show you some of the features. Actually, I'll just show you. So basically everything's let me just log into my dashboard. Hold on. Okay, so like I said, we just started, but basically, categories are the main higher in the hierarchy. That's the main thing. So right now, I just have administrative and tools. A common setup might be administrative, tools, human resources, sales, marketing, and most companies do it on a functional basis. So whatever function, all the different departmental functions or whatever would have their own category pretty much. Within a category, you can also have folders. So as you can see here, for administrative, I have a brand folder. And then if I click inside of brand, I have a fonts folder. And I might also have a colors folder and a photography schema folder or whatever. In tools, one of the tools we use is MyVR. I might have Dropbox in here as well. And I would have our accounting software listed as one of these, et cetera, and so forth. So the one that I just created was our fonts. So this is just something, this is not, this part right here, let me show you the other one first. So I decided from the get-go, like all this stuff up here is actually not something that Tettra includes. This is something that I decided would be on every single page that's created because, and again, I'm always looking out for the big picture. When you're a small business and you've just got 1, 2, 5 people like we do now, this stuff is really not that important because, you're working side by side, you're working really close together, it's easy to communicate with each other and you know exactly where everything is. But the second you start hiring people or outsourcing or growing, this stuff becomes more and more pertinent. You want people to be able to search for your content, and then you want, once they pull up a page, to be able to quickly identify whether or not they have the correct permissions to access or to follow the instructions that you're about to give them. What exactly is included in the content in case it's really long, you want to know, does it include a video? Does it include screenshots? Does it include step-by-step instructions? And then I also like to include keywords that may or may not be in the actual content of the page. So that way it shows up in search results. So somebody might say, instead of saying property onboarding, they might say house or home onboarding. So it would be a good idea for me to actually edit this and add those keywords in here. So that way, if somebody doesn't use the same terminology that we do, and someone were to come in and search for house onboarding, then this page would display. So I'm going to include that with all of the pages that I create. You can do so basically, let me just go back to the other one I was working on. So basically, when you're in here creating a new page, you basically have little plus signs. You can skip skip stuff, and then each plus or each little line you can actually add different things. You can embed just about anything you can imagine. You can embed in here, like tons of different stuff. You just paste the embed code, and it will figure it out for you. You can do call outs and do lines. It's like, for instance, I'm going to put a line right here. Why is it not? It's interesting. There we go. All right. So permissions for this one. This is our fonts. We have brand, and I'll talk about that in another video. But another software that we use to manage our brand identity. We use it to manage our fonts, our font families, our colors, our templates for various social media sites, the way that the filters that are applied to our images and stuff like that. And I'll get to that in another video. But so for this, I'm going to do keywords, font family, Google font, brand identity, oops, desktop publishing. Well, that's already, so I'm not going to, in general, you just want to include stuff that's actually not already in here. So I'll put import font, font CSS. The point is that so that somebody that doesn't know can search in here for any of these terms, and the article will show up. So for someone that's just playing around and wants to build a website, we want to encourage them to do that, even if they don't know how to do it. So maybe they search. They see a keyword on Stack Overflow or something that says something about importing font families, and they're like, "What is @import? What's the symbol with import? What is that?" And then they could search it here, and it would show up relevant to our specific business. So, by the way, you can also tag stuff. You can tag other pages too. So if you do you can tag people and pages. So another really cool feature is that, well, first of all, this is supposed to be a team effort. So it's really important to encourage all of the people that you work with to just take maybe 30 minutes once a week to take something in their brain, something that they do, and document it out step by step. Because you can't really pin this on a single person, because this would be a project that would never ever. Well, first of all, it's not even a project that should ever be, quote, complete. This is like something that's evolving. So as your business changes, you need to update all of the processes and the step-by-step instructions that are contained inside of this platform. But in order to have a really good database of information, you really need to engage and get everyone to get involved. But one of the things, let's say you go in here and you know that there's someone else who's in accounting, and you're not an accountant, but you really need to know, something specific about accounting. Like for me, I don't really know how we handle accounts receivable, for example. So maybe I create a new suggestion, and I say, and then it asks, what do you want to know? And you put in what you want to know and add more details about it. And then you select maybe the accounting person. Who is the accounting person? You select that person, and how should it be categorized if there's a category already, and it will either assign it to that person, or it will go to somebody to assign it to someone, so that someone can work on that. So that way, if there's a lot of requests coming in for something specific, then you can sort of prioritize which of these makes sense for you to work on next. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. There's quite a bit more to it. It's not. You can embed just about anything through it. So I'll show you what you can embed real quick. Embedly. So everything that Embedly embeds, you can embed. This is the software that they use. I think there was a. So you can embed all these different things. Flickr, YouTube, there's just tons of them. Look, it's ridiculous. So you can actually embed any of these objects within your pages. There's a lot. So anyway, I encourage you to start looking at your business, no matter how small it is, and see what you can start picking out of everyone's brains and documenting in your own knowledge base. This stuff is really important. If you got, God forbid, you got hit by a bus, or one of your employees, your accountant got hit by a bus tomorrow, then what about all the processes and procedures that accountant set up? Who in hell is going to be able to pick up the pieces, without any loss of time or without any ramp time? If you don't have this information, then that's downtime for you, and that causes a lot of hiccups throughout tons of different processes, with having to do or having anything to do with accounting. So I think that this is critical if you plan on growing at all. And like I said, even if you're just a one person solopreneur, then I still think this is important. Anyway, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or concerns, please let me know in the comments below. As always, until next time, enjoy yourself.